Hello, everyone. There comes a moment in every person's life when everything feels uncertain. The plans you made fall apart. The people you trusted disappear. The confidence you once carried suddenly fades, and you stand in the middle of chaos wondering, what is happening in my life? But listen carefully. Chaos is not always destruction. Sometimes chaos is life pushing you toward the person you were meant to become. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid discomfort. They want certainty before action. They want guarantees before commitment. They want perfect timing before they begin. But purpose is not discovered in comfort. Purpose is revealed in pressure. When life shakes you, it exposes what is real. When everything familiar is stripped away, you finally meet yourself. Think about it. The strongest people are not those who had easy lives. They are the ones who faced confusion, failure, rejection, and pain and decided to rise anyway. The fire did not destroy them, it shaped them. The chaos became their teacher. Every setback forced them to ask deeper questions. Every obstacle demanded growth. And eventually they realized that what looked like punishment was actually preparation. Too many people wait for clarity before they move, but clarity comes from action, not thought. You cannot think your way into purpose. You must live your way into it. You must move even when you are afraid. You must trust yourself even when the path is unclear, because purpose is not hidden somewhere outside of you. It is built through your decisions, your resilience, and your willingness to keep going when others quit. When your life feels chaotic, your instinct is to focus on what you lost. But what if chaos is creating space? What if life is removing distractions so you can finally focus on what matters? Sometimes the breakdown is necessary because the old version of you cannot carry the future you desire. Growth requires change, and change is uncomfortable. A seed must break before it becomes a tree. A person must struggle before they discover their strength. The problem is that most people interpret struggle as a sign to stop. They think difficulty means they are on the wrong path. But often, difficulty is proof that you are growing. Pressure creates diamonds. Resistance builds muscles. Every challenge carries a lesson, and every lesson brings you closer to your purpose if you are willing to learn from it instead of running from it. You do not need to have your entire future figured out today. You only need the courage to take the next step. Purpose is not one giant revelation that suddenly appears overnight. It is discovered piece by piece. Every experience teaches you something. Every mistake sharpens you. Every painful moment gives you wisdom you could not gain any other way. And understand this, your pain can become your power. The thing you survived may become the very thing that helps someone else survive. The battles you fought may give you the strength to lead others through theirs. Sometimes your greatest purpose is born from your deepest struggle. The very thing that almost broke you can become the reason someone else keeps going. But you must stop doubting your value. Chaos has a way of making people feel small. It whispers, lies into your mind. It tells you that you are behind, that you are not good enough, that you will never recover. But those thoughts are not truth. They are fear, and fear grows louder when you stop believing in your own potential. You were not created to live a small life controlled by fear. You were created with power, creativity, energy, and purpose. There is something inside you that the world needs, but it will never appear if you spend your life hiding from discomfort. You must decide that your future matters more than your excuses. You must decide that your dreams deserve action. You must choose growth, even when growth hurts. Life will test you again and again. There will be moments when you feel lost, moments when you question yourself, moments when the chaos feels overwhelming. But those moments do not define you. Your response defines you. Anyone can stay down when life becomes difficult. The people who transform their lives are the ones who rise with determination even when they feel broken. Do not wait for the perfect moment to begin building your purpose. Start now. Start with what you have. Start with the little confidence you possess. Start while you are uncertain, because movement creates momentum, action creates belief, and every small step forward builds the person you are becoming. One day you will look back at the chaos that once terrified you, and you will realize it was shaping your destiny all along. You will see that every disappointment redirected you. Every struggle strengthened you. Every painful season prepared you for something greater, and you will understand that purpose was never found in the absence of chaos. It was found because of it. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid chaos. They pray for certainty, stability, and comfort because they believe peace is the only place where success can grow. But life has a strange way of interrupting comfort. Just when you think you have everything figured out, something changes. A relationship ends, a dream collapses, a failure shakes your confidence. Suddenly, the direction you trusted disappears and you feel lost in confusion. In those moments, people often believe life is working against them. But what if chaos is not destruction? What if it is transformation in disguise? The truth is that growth rarely begins when life is easy. Growth begins when life challenges you to become more than you were before. Chaos forces you to confront yourself. It strips away distractions, excuses, and illusions. It reveals what truly matters. When everything around you feels uncertain, you begin asking deeper questions about who you are, what you value, and what kind of life you truly want to live. That process is uncomfortable, but it is powerful because transformation always starts with disruption. Think about the strongest people you know. Their strength was not created in comfort. It was built in struggle. Nobody develops courage when everything is perfect. Courage appears when fear is present, but action is taken anyway. Nobody discovers resilience when life is easy. Resilience is born when someone refuses to quit despite setbacks and pain. Chaos creates the conditions that force hidden strength to rise to the surface. Too many people see difficult seasons as proof that their lives are falling apart. They panic the moment things become uncertain. But often, the very thing that feels like it is breaking you is actually building you. Sometimes life must remove what is no longer serving you before it can guide you towards something greater. The challenge is that most people resist change because the unknown feels terrifying. Human beings naturally cling to familiarity, even when it no longer helps them grow. Yet transformation demands that you leave behind the old version of yourself. Every major breakthrough in life begins with discomfort. Before a person becomes stronger, they must face weakness. Before they gain confidence, they must face doubt. Before they discover purpose, they must experience confusion. Chaos is not there to punish you. It is there to wake you up. It pushes you beyond the limits of your old mindset and forces you to see possibilities you once ignored. There are moments in life when chaos becomes the greatest teacher you will ever have. It teaches patience when you want immediate answers. It teaches faith when you cannot see the outcome. It teaches adaptability when your plans suddenly change. Most importantly, it teaches you that you are capable of handling far more than you once believed. Many people underestimate themselves because they have never been tested, but pressure reveals potential. When life feels uncertain, you have two choices. You can allow fear to control you, or you can use the chaos as fuel for transformation. One path leads to bitterness and helplessness. The other leads to growth, wisdom, and strength. The people who transform their lives are not the ones who avoid chaos completely. They are the ones who learn how to grow through it. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? They begin asking, what is this teaching me? That single shift changes everything because it turns pain into progress and some struggle into opportunity. One day you may look back on the hardest season of your life and realize it was a moment everything began to change. The chaos that once frightened you may become the very thing that awakened your purpose, strengthened your spirit, and pushed you toward the life you were meant to live. There's something powerful that happens to a person when life becomes difficult. Struggle has a way of revealing truths that comfort can never teach. When everything is easy, people often move through life without discovering what they are truly capable of. But the moment challenges appear, something deeper is awakened. Strength is not something you are born with fully developed. It is something forged through adversity, pressure, and persistence. Most people do not realize how strong they are because they have spent their lives avoiding discomfort. They run from pain, fear, rejection, and failure because they believe struggle is a sign of weakness. But struggle is not weakness. Struggle is training. Every difficult experience forces you to grow in ways you never imagined possible. The moments that make you feel broken are often the moments that are building your inner power. Think about the times in your life when you felt overwhelmed. Maybe you faced disappointment after giving everything you had. Maybe you lost opportunities you thought would define your future. Maybe people doubted you, abandoned you, or underestimated your abilities. In those moments, it is easy to feel defeated. It is easy to believe that life is unfair. But hidden inside every struggle is an opportunity to discover a stronger version of yourself. Strength is not about never feeling fear. Real strength is continuing forward even when fear is present. It is waking up after failure and trying again. It is believing in yourself when no one else does. It is refusing to surrender even when life tests your patience and your faith. Strong people are not fearless people. They are people who decide that their goals matter more than their fear. Many people wait until they feel confident before taking action, but confidence is created through struggle. Nobody begins as an expert. Nobody starts their journey without insecurity or doubt. Confidence grows each time you survive something difficult. Every challenge you overcome becomes proof that you are capable of handling more than you once believed. The struggles you face today are preparing you for responsibilities, opportunities, and victories you are not yet ready to see. There is a reason pressure creates growth. In life, nothing develops its full potential without resistance. Muscles grow by being challenged. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Great leaders are shaped by difficult experiences. In the same way, your struggles are shaping your character. They are teaching you discipline, patience, emotional strength, and resilience. Without struggle, many of the qualities necessary for success would never develop. The problem is that most people focus so much on the pain of the process that they fail to recognize the transformation happening inside them. They see obstacles as barriers instead of lessons. They focus on what they lost instead of what they are gaining. But every setback carries wisdom. Every disappointment teaches something valuable. Every difficult season builds emotional endurance that will serve you later in life. Sometimes struggle strips away your false identity so you can discover your real one. When life becomes difficult, you stop pretending. You stop chasing things that do not truly matter. You begin to understand what is important. You realize how much strength exists inside you because survival demands it. In those moments, you discover abilities, courage, and determination you never knew you possessed. The people who inspire the world are rarely those who lived easy lives. They are the ones who faced darkness and kept moving forward. They are the ones who transformed pain into power. Their struggles became the foundation of their greatness. And the same can happen for you if you stop seeing hardship as the end of your story. The struggle may be painful, but it is also shaping the person you are becoming. One of the biggest reasons people stay stuck in life is because they are waiting for clarity before they take action. They want certainty before commitment. They want guarantees before effort. They want to know exactly how everything will work out before they make the first move. But life does not work that way. Clarity is not something that appears before action. Clarity is created because of action. Most people think successful individuals always knew what they were doing from the beginning. That is not true. The people who achieve extraordinary things are often just people who decided to move forward despite uncertainty. They felt fear. They doubted themselves. They questioned whether they were capable, but they understood something powerful. Waiting forever for the perfect moment only leads to regret. Fear has a way of convincing people to stay comfortable. It whispers excuses into the mind. It says, you are not ready yet. You need more if you fail. What if people judge you? And because of those thoughts, countless dreams never become reality. Opportunities disappear. Talents remain hidden. Potential stays trapped inside people who never had the courage to begin. The truth is that nobody ever feels completely ready. There will always be uncertainty. There will always be risks. There will always be reasons to hesitate, but growth begins the moment you decide to act anyway. Action changes your mindset. Action builds momentum. Action creates experience, and experience creates wisdom. The more you move forward, the more confident and capable you become. Think about learning to walk as a child. You did not wait until you mastered balance before taking your first step. You stumbled, fell, and tried again. That is how all progress works. Every skill, every achievement, every success begins with imperfect action. Yet as adults, many people become so afraid of mistakes that they stop moving altogether. They want perfection before progress. And because perfection never arrives, they remain trapped in the same place year after year. Action has the power to silence fear. Fear grows stronger when you overthink. The longer you stay inside your head, the bigger your doubts become. But the moment you take even a small step forward, something changes. You begin proving to yourself that you are capable. You begin realizing that obstacles are not as impossible as you imagined. Movement creates belief. Many people spend years searching for their purpose, thinking it will suddenly appear one day like a lightning bolt. But purpose is often discovered through experience. You learn what excites you by trying new things. You discover your strengths by challenging yourself. You uncover your passions by taking risks. If you stay frozen waiting for certainty, you never gain the experiences necessary to discover who you truly are. Failure is also part of the process. People fear failure so much that they avoid action completely, but failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is part of success. Every mistake teaches lessons that success alone could never teach. Every setback gives you knowledge, resilience, and awareness that prepare you for future victories. The people who succeed in life are not people who never fail. They are people who keep moving despite failure. There is incredible power in taking the next step even when the entire path is unclear. You do not need to have your whole future figured out today. You only need enough courage to move forward one step at a time. Life reveals itself as you grow. Opportunities appear as you act. Confidence develops as you continue. The person you are capable of becoming is waiting on the other side of action, but you will never meet that person if fear keeps you standing still. Pain is something every human being experiences, yet most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid it. They see pain as an enemy, something unfair, something that only brings suffering and weakness. But pain is not always there to destroy you. Sometimes pain enters your life to transform you. Sometimes the greatest source of your strength is born from the very thing that once hurt you the most. When people go through difficult seasons, they often ask, why is this happening to me? They focus on the loss, the disappointment, and the suffering. They feel trapped inside the emotions of the moment. But what many fail to realize is that painful experiences can carry hidden power. Pain has the ability to awaken parts of you that comfort never could. It forces growth. It deepens understanding. It reveals resilience you did not know you possessed. Think about the people who inspire others the most. Many of them did not become powerful because life was easy. They became powerful because they survived hard things. Their pain gave them wisdom. Their struggles taught them compassion. Their failures developed their character. Instead of allowing suffering to destroy them, they used it as fuel to rise stronger than before. There are people who turn their deepest wounds into their greatest purpose. Someone who battled rejection may become the person who encourages others never to give up. Someone who experienced hardship may become the leader who inspires hope in difficult times. Someone who once felt broken may become the reason another person keeps believing in themselves. Pain can either make you bitter or make you stronger. The choice belongs to you. The danger is that many people allow pain to define them negatively. They carry old disappointments like chains. They relive failures again and again until fear controls their future. They begin believing that because something painful happened to them, they are permanently damaged. But your past does not have to imprison your future. What happened to you may shape you, but it does not have to limit you. Every painful experience contains a lesson. Sometimes pain teaches patience. Sometimes it teaches self-respect. Sometimes it teaches you who truly belongs in your life. Sometimes it forces you to discover courage you never knew existed. The challenge is that lessons are often invisible while you are in the middle of the storm. It is only later, when you look back, that you realize how much strength you gained through the struggle. People often underestimate their ability to heal and grow. They think pain will last forever. But human beings are incredibly resilient. The same person who once cried themselves to sleep can eventually become confident, wise, and emotionally strong. The same person who once felt powerless can become unstoppable. Healing does not mean forgetting the pain. It means learning how to use it without letting it control you. Your pain can become motivation. It can become discipline. It can become empathy. It can become the fire that pushes you toward a greater future. Many people discover their purpose through the challenges they never wanted to face. Their struggles give them a deeper connection to others and a stronger sense of meaning. What once felt like a curse becomes the source of their power. Life will always include pain because pain is part of growth, but suffering becomes dangerous when you believe it has no purpose. The moment you decide to grow through your struggles instead of surrendering to them, everything changes. Your pain stops being just pain. It becomes strength. It becomes wisdom. It becomes fuel for transformation. And sometimes the very thing that almost broke you becomes the reason you rise higher than you ever imagined possible. Fear and self-doubt are two of the greatest enemies of human potential. They stop more dreams than failure ever will. Most people are not held back because they lack talent or intelligence. They are held back because they do not believe in themselves strongly enough to take action. They spend their lives questioning their worth, waiting for permission, or allowing fear to control their decisions. And without realizing it, they slowly build a life far smaller than the one they are capable of living. Fear is powerful because it feels real. It convinces you that you are not ready. It tells you that you might embarrass yourself, fail, or disappoint others. It makes uncertainty feel dangerous. And the more you listen to fear, the stronger it becomes. Fear grows when you avoid challenges. It grows when you stay inside your comfort zone. It grows when you keep delaying the actions you know you need to take. Self-doubt works the same way. It whispers destructive thoughts into your mind over and over again. It says, you are not good enough. Someone else is more talented. You will never succeed. After hearing those thoughts repeatedly, many people begin accepting them as truth. They stop trusting themselves. They shrink their goals. They lower their standards. Eventually, they become prisoners of their own thinking. But here's what you must understand. Fear and self-doubt are not facts. They are emotions, and emotions change. Every successful person you admire has experienced fear. Every confident person once struggled with insecurity. The difference is that they refused to let those feelings control their future. They understood that courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is taking action despite fear. Most breakthroughs in life happen after moments of uncertainty. Right before growth, fear often becomes louder. That is because your mind is trying to protect you from risk and discomfort. Human beings naturally prefer familiarity, even when it keeps them unhappy, but nothing extraordinary happens inside a comfort zone. Growth requires uncertainty. Success requires risk. Transformation requires the willingness to move forward even when you are afraid. One of the most dangerous habits in life is comparing yourself to others. Social media, competition, and outside opinions make people feel like they are falling behind. They look at someone else's success and begin doubting their own journey. But comparison destroys confidence because it shifts your focus away from your own growth. Everyone has a different path, different timing, and different struggles. The only person you should compete with is the person you were yesterday. Confidence is not something people are simply born with. Confidence is built through action and repetition. Every time you face a fear, you become stronger. Every time you keep going despite doubt, you prove to yourself that you are capable. Confidence grows when you keep promises to yourself. It grows when you stop running away from challenges and start confronting them directly. You must also learn to protect your mind from negativity. The people around you can either strengthen your belief or weaken it. Some people project their own fears onto others. They tell you your dreams are unrealistic because they gave up on theirs. They criticize your ambition because your courage reminds them of their own excuses. If you listen to every negative voice, you will spend your life doubting your potential instead of developing it. There is greatness inside every person, but greatness cannot grow where fear dominates. You must decide that your future matters more than your insecurity. You must stop waiting for perfect confidence before taking action. Confidence comes after action, not before it. The moment you begin trusting yourself, even in small ways, your entire life starts to change little by little. Fear loses its power, self-doubt becomes weaker, and you begin stepping into the stronger version of yourself that was waiting to emerge all along. In the end, life will never be free from chaos, struggle, pain, or uncertainty. Every person will face moments that test their courage, challenge their faith, and force them to question themselves. But those moments are not meant to defeat you. They are meant to awaken you. The chaos you fear today may become the reason you discover your true strength tomorrow. Purpose is not something handed to you while you sit comfortably waiting for the perfect moment. Purpose is built through action, resilience, and growth. It is discovered when you choose to rise after failure, when you continue despite fear, and when you turn your pain into power instead of allowing it to destroy you. Every challenge you survive adds another layer to the person you are becoming. Do not underestimate yourself during difficult seasons. Some of the greatest transformations happen quietly in moments when you feel lost, uncertain, or broken. The pressure you face today may be shaping the strongest version of you. The struggles that seem unfair may be preparing you for responsibilities, opportunities, and victories greater than you can currently imagine. So stop waiting for life to become easy before you decide to believe in yourself. Stop allowing fear and self-doubt to control your future. Take the next step even when the path is unclear. Trust that every experience is teaching you something valuable. Trust that your setbacks do not define you. Trust that there is strength inside you waiting to be unleashed. One day you will look back at the chaos that once made you feel weak, and you will realize it was the beginning of your transformation. You will see that every obstacle carried a lesson, every painful moment